Okay, now recording has started. Recorder, fine. What is this? Wait. Uh, uh, have you go through the video lectures which I have uploaded on the YouTube? Those who have missed any of the lectures, they can go through all the video lectures, okay, which we have covered. I have uploaded all the lectures on YouTube, okay, and I have shared that YouTube on the Moodle as well as earlier on the WhatsApp group also. Yesterday we missed the yesterday's lecture is not recorded and that is not uploaded on the YouTube. Otherwise, I have uploaded all the lectures on the YouTube. Plus, I have taken extra lecture on Saturday. Around 45 plus students were present. That lecture was also uploaded on the Moodle, where we have covered some string related content. Okay, and I have given assignment on strings where you have to write three C programs on strings. Okay, I will also upload that particular file on the Moodle today, so you can write all the functions and be ready with your programs. In every program you write, you should put your first line should be comment, where you should say the program for something, your role program for whatever the purpose, your name and roll number. Then you write the program properly. Okay, and I need to I want you to all execute the programs properly and upload on the Moodle. Okay, I will share the Moodle link later. So we have covered the structures yesterday. We have covered structures, basic structures, and written a program on student record. Okay, where we have read data from the user, student information like roll number, name, 6 subjects marks. Then what we have done, we have added all the marks and printed the total marks of the student as well as the average of that particular student. So that was the basic of that. So that is the basic logic where you can understand how the structure works. Using that particular basic knowledge, you can write large complex programs where structures are used. So what are structures? Structures are data types, derived data types. They are not primitive data types. Primitive means inbuilt data types of the language. They are not primitive inbuilt data types of the C programming language, but they are derived. Derived in the sense they are created using some other data types. Like in structure we use integer, character, float, double. So these are primitive data types with which we create a new data type which is called structure. Okay, now how do you do this? With a name, struct, label, and the member variables and the semicolon. Later you can define as many variables as you want. Maybe we will go through it later again, just the basics. Okay, I will share the screen for. Okay, maybe we'll go through some theory. I will not write any programs, just the structures. So recording is on. Do you see the recording option on your screen? Recording is in progress. Fine. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay, fine. What I will do, I will just cover the basics of structures. Okay, only the theory. Not I will take. I will not write any program, and will not waste any time. So how the structure is defined? See, structure. The composition of structure may be defined as structure, a tag. Okay, you can give a name, structure, tag, and member of the structures. Member 1, member 2, member m. A member can be a single variable, or you can have an array of any particular type. What is struct? Struct is the required keyword, okay, which is the result of word of C. Tag is the name of the structure. This tag is name of the structure. Member 1, member 2 are individual member declarations. The individual members can be ordinary variables, they can be pointers, they can be arrays, or other structure can be members of the structure. The member names within a particular structure must be distinct from one another. Okay, a member name can be the same as the name of a variable defined outside the structure. Okay, a member name can be the same as the name of a variable defined outside the function. What is the meaning of it? The meaning is when there is a variable integer I inside a structure, and if you have another variable integer I outside the structure, both are different. Outside the structure, if you have integer I, you will refer that variable I using just using I. Whereas if my structure name is student and there is a variable integer I inside a student, then I will access that particular variable using stud.I. Okay, both variables are different. Once a structure has been defined, the individual structure type variables can be declared as something like this: structure tag and number of variables. If I define structure student, structure stud for the short form of student record, and later I can define, I suppose I want three student where structures, I can say structure stud student 1, student 2, student 3, like this. Okay, so this will become a new data type struct and that particular tag or a type which already we have declared here. A structure definition, see this, they have taken the same example: student, struct, student, character name 30, name, roll number, total marks, and character DOB, date of birth they have taken. And defining structure variables, I can say now struct, student, A1, A2, A3. Now what are these A1, A2, A3? A1, A2, A3 will be three structure variables of type student. So I will have member variables of A1, A1 dot name, A1 dot roll number, A1 dot total marks, and A1 dot date of birth. Like this, A2, A3, they also have same data members. So it's a new data type. It is possible to combine the declaration of structure with that of the structure variables. Okay, it is possible to combine the declaration of the structure with that of the structure variables. That means struct tag, when you declare the variable, that time you can also define some variables also. So when you define the structure, you can also declare some variables, variable 1, 2, 3. This is also possible. In this form, tag is optional. In this case, if you don't use tag, that still it works, because struct this type, what type of structure it is? Structure of this type, and the variables will be 1, 2, 3. Equivalent declarations. Suppose if I declare struct student, char name 30 and all, and A1, A2, A3, and these will be three different variables. Is there any difference here and here? No, I think both are same. Processing a structure. The members of a structure are processed individually as separate entities. A structure member can be accessed by writing the variable name and the member, like in our case, student dot roll number, student dot name. So these are individual members of structures which can be accessed by using this dot operator, where variable refers to the name of a structure type, and member, name of the structure, and member refers to the name of a member within the structure. Examples: I can access A1 dot name, A2 dot name, A1 roll number, A3 dot date of birth. So this is an example. We have seen the examples. Okay, I will skip this. Is it okay? We are done now. This one yesterday. Is it okay if I skip this? Okay, we'll take one more, which is here. Now defining data type using type def. I can define a new data type like this. One may define a structure data type with a single name. General syntax is what? Type define, struct, and member variables and tag. Now this tag will be new data type. Now tag is the name of the new data type. Then later I can use see this type def, struct, float, real, float, and float real, float image, complex. Now when you define a type define, that means you will define a new data type by using type def and the structure, and this complex. Now what is complex here? Complex will be new data type, and it will have two members: one is real, one is imaginary. So you can now I can have this one complex as a data type, like I have integer, float, char. I will have complex and ABC variables. All ABC will have both the values, real part and imaginary part. A dot real, A dot imaginary. Struct initialization. Structure variables may be initialized following similar rules of an array. The values are provided within the second braces separated by commas. Like if you want to declare variable, I will say complex a equal to 1.0, 2.0. This will be real part and this will be the imaginary part. Likewise, this one, this also. Structure variables, okay, we'll skip this. This is enough for us, I think. Is it okay? Now we'll move to next part, which is files. But as in main, if I need any doubt, any questions regarding the structure, you can always ask. I want to cover structure some more. There, this is the last slide of the structure here in our slide. So this is the last structure, 21 out of 21. We'll close this, but still we have structures later. Okay, later we'll see what type of structures we can use. Okay, some more advanced chapter we'll have. Okay, is everyone is ready? Participant, anybody is waiting? No. Okay, fine. So what are files? Can anyone answer? What are files? It's there no here on the screen. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Everyone is silent. Is there a heavy rain going out? It's raining, no? Is everyone is there? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay, okay, fine. So what is a file? A named collection of data stored in secondary storage. Typically, files are stored on the disk, isn't it? Hard disk or floppy disk or say pen drives and all. So what is the file? File is a collection of data to which we give some name. So that is file. So a named collection of data stored in secondary storage typically. Now typical operations on files, what we can do with files? I can open the file, I can read the content, I can write to that particular file and I can close. So these are typical operations which are done on the files. How is a file stored? These files are stored as sequence of bytes, logically contiguous, may not be physically contiguous on disk. Okay, that means what? Files are stored in the hard disk in the continuous manner. Logically contiguous. Logically contiguous means what? Like I have 10 bytes, then my file can be stored as 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 is already occupied by some other data type. Then I will have 1, 2, 3, and later parts as a 6, 7 because 4 and 5 are already covered by something. This is physical contiguous. What about memory? Inside logical contiguous means what? The addresses are contiguous. The links are contiguous. Okay, we'll discuss this later. The last byte of a file contains the end of file character. Now, how you will come to know inside a hard disk or memory that there is end of character. Okay, now how to know that there is a end of file? By referring end of file character. So the last byte of a file contains the end of file character UF with a ASCII code. What is the ASCII code of that? 1A. Okay, so we hardly ever check no this one. So remember this 1A hex code is for end of file. While reading a text file, the EOF, which is end of file character, can be checked to know the end. So what is the meaning here? When I read a file, I will keep on reading all the characters. As files are stored as a in byte format, I will keep on reading all the bytes. That means I will keep on reading all the characters. And as soon as I reach EOF character, I will assume that it's the end of file and I will stop reading the file. Two kinds of files. One is normal text file and second is binary. Text contains ASCII codes only, whereas binary can contain non-ASCII characters also, like what? Image, audio, video, executable files. Okay. To check the end of file here, the file size value also stored on disk needs to be checked. If it's a text file, I can check the end of file using EOF character. If it's a binary file, then how to come to know whether it's the end of file? By using file size. So we have a function called file size. With this, we can read the size of the file, and we should read all those things. So like image, audio, video, executable files and all, they are stored in terms of binary. To check the end of file here, the file size value also stored on the disk needs to be checked first, and only we'll read those many characters or bytes from the file. File handling in C. In C, we use the file type, okay, file data type. So in C, we use file star to represent a pointer to a file. Fopen is used to open a file. It returns the special value null to indicate that it is unable to open the file. If whenever we open a file and if you get the null value as returning value null, that means you are not able to open the file. Otherwise, if it is anything other than null, that means it's a pointer to file. That is, file is opened. Example: initially we have to define file pointer, file star ptr. What is fptr? Fptr is a pointer to file type. Okay, that means if I have a disk, I have a file inside the disk, and ptr, when you open it, this ptr will have the content of the first byte of the file. So how you access it? I say file equal to file pointer, then I have a file name. So character file name sum array equal to file2 dot dat. This file2 dot dat string is stored inside the file name. Now I'll open fptr equal to fopen file name. This particular file name in what mode? W mode. So what are different modes we have? I have read mode, write mode, and append mode. Okay. And if at all, if when fopen fails to open this particular file name, okay, in that case it will return null. So if fptr, if returning is null, that means there is some problem opening with a file. In that case, you have to print a message saying printf error in file creation or file opening. The second argument of fopen is what? So this, the first argument is the name of the file, comma, in double quotes you should give second argument. So what is the second argument here? The second argument of fopen is the mode in which we open the file. There are three modes. R opens a file for reading, W creates a file for writing and writes over all previous contents, or it deletes the file. So you have to be very careful. A opens a file for appending, writing on the end of file. So when you want to open a existing file and write something extra, you should open it in append mode. Okay, so that you open a file and you write the data at the end. If you open this in write mode, what will happen? Earlier content will be overwritten by new content. So be careful when you do with files. We can add a B character to indicate that the file is a binary file like RB, WB, or AB to open those binary files. Exit. Sometimes error checking means we want an emergency exit from a program. In main, we can use return to stop. Okay. In functions, we can use exit to do this. Exit is part of the standard library.h library file. So exit -1 is in a function is exactly the same as return -1 in the main routine. Normally what we do, whenever we get we want to exit, there is some abnormal problem in the program, we want to stop. In that case, what we do, we use exit and just exit and this semicolon, it will exit the program. Usage of exit, you can see this file pointer, file open, we'll open this particular file and fptr equal to null, printf error in creation file, exit -1. In this case, what is happening? There is a problem with opening a file. So the operation is not successful. That's why I'm returning exit -1. Many times in programming, people return -1 for failure, okay, and return 0 for success. Fprintf. So you have now understood what is file pointer. A file pointer, when you want to open a file, you want to read a file, what you need, when you want to read a file, file should be read, no? For that you need a variable. This variable should be of type file and it has to be pointer. And once it's the pointer, when you open a particular, open a file, what happens? File is opened in particular mode and the address of the particular address of that particular file or first byte of the file is assigned to fptr. Now fptr is the only link through which I can access file. This fptr knows where is the file is. Okay. Usage of exit we understood. Now what about fprintf? How you are writing? You want to print in a file? I can use fprintf. Fprintf works just like printf and sprintf, except that it's the first argument is a file pointer. Now I say file ptr. I'll open a file with the fptr. This is a small case here. Fptr could open file.dat.w. Then I will say fprintf fptr hello world. This hello world is returned to this file. What is this file? This file means it's a file.dat file. fprintf %d %a comma b. So these variables are returned to fptr. We also read data from a file using fscanf. So fptr, you could open this file. If it is not null, print error. Otherwise, scanf open. So variables are stored inside the variables are accessed from the file. Maybe we'll try this both. We can read a string using fgets. We can also read a string using fgets. File pointer character line 1000 file fgets line 1000 fptr not equal to null print read line percentage line. So what is happening here? I am defining a variable called fptr. Then I am defining a array of characters line which is having 1000 characters. I don't need 1000. Okay. 200, 140, 150 is, that is okay, fine. Now while f gets, now gets what does gets do? Gets is get string. F gets is get string from file. So f gets where you want to store? I want to store the string. F gets reads a string, and that will be stored in the first variable, which is line. How many characters you want to read? I want to read 1000 characters. From where you want to read? I want to read from file pointer. So fgets will have 3 arguments. One, the buffer or the string where you want to store, and the number of bytes you want to read, and the file pointer. And if it is unsuccessful, if it is not equal to null, that means it's the end of file. If it reads something, then it is not equal to null. It is not equal to null. In that case, whatever I read, I will print it on the screen. Otherwise, if it is equal to null, I will come out of the while loop. Fgets takes 3 arguments: a string, maximum number of characters to read, and the file pointer. It returns null if there is an error such as UF. Closing a file. We can close a file simply using fclose and the file pointer. File fptr, okay, you can open this, you can process everything. After writing, processing all that, at the end of the your program, you should always close your files which are open. Why you should do this? Because when you open the files, the process, that is your program which is running, is called process in computer system. The processes are open, and if you don't close the file, there will be some pointers like fptr pointer which is open to the particular file. If you don't close that particular file, there are chances that the data which is stored on the file is you get a abnormal data, or sometimes the data is you will get crash. That's why whenever you open a file, always you should close the file. 3 special file streams are defined in the stdio.h, which I have discussed earlier in general. So what are those? stdin reads input from the keyboard, stdout sends the output to the screen, stder prints error to an error device, usually on the screen. So if you see the stdout and stdr, both are writing on the screen. So what might this do? Fprintf stdout hello.world. The meaning is I am writing this string where? Not to the file. I am writing to the standard output stream stdout. There are 3 standard streams. 3 special file streams are defined in the stdio.h header file. stdin is reading for it reads input from the keyboard. stdout send the output on the screen. stdr prints errors on the output device. So see this fprintf, I'm printing it. Where I'm printing? On stdout. That means on the screen. Okay, what is this particular program doing? Integer I, fprintf stdout, give value of I. So I'll print it on the screen. Fscanf stdin, I'm reading from the keyboard. Then stdin, then printf, fprintf stdout, value of I. This again I'll print it on the screen. Printf std error. no error, but an example to show error message. So this will print this particular line on the screen. Input file and output file redirection. Okay, this particular part, this applies to Linux. Okay, so input output file and output stream. Maybe I have to go through WebEx. If WebEx supports what Linux, I'll just go through it. I have to install the WebEx on the Linux, and I will take one session on Linux where I will show all Linux basic commands, how the Linux works, some basics of Linux, and this input file and output file redirection, and some other advanced commands of Linux. Okay, that we will discuss it later. Reading and writing a file. Okay. So other than this, what we can do? A character reading writing is equivalent to reading writing a byte. Okay, this is with respect to integer get char, integer put char. This is from the stdin. Okay, int f get c, like we get char put char. I can also read f get c get character, f put c put character. Example, character c get char put char. Okay. So what we are doing here, integer c print type text and press return to see it again. So for exiting, press Control D. Exiting, Control D. Okay. C equal to get char till end of file. You press Enter key. You'll keep on reading. Not end of file. Okay. Put char. So for exiting, press type text and see on the screen. Shall we type this one? We'll see how this works. This I will type this first. Then we will use some file pointers. There are 28 slides. Okay, maybe I'll go through it later. We'll type it once you do it. Command line arguments. Do you know command line arguments? Anyone can answer? What are command line arguments? What are command line arguments? No answer? Who are there here? Everyone is there. Okay, it's okay, no problem. This was not there in the first year. See, what are command line arguments? Command line arguments are what? When we want to give input to the file. Have you ever thought what is main? No, just answer me. What is main? Main, M-A-I-N, main function. What is main? Main is a function, isn't it? So what is special about main in C? Yes, roll number 9, Ashwit. Ashwit Bhatt.
It is the important function, means it stores all the it is a head function.
Head function. What is the mean? What do you mean by head function?
By using main function, we can call any function that we have declared.
साढ़े कर लेना. Hello? Hello? Ashwit, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is main? Main is a special function in C, and every C program execution starts with main. Okay.
Main.
Now, like, understood? Okay.
Yes,
now
sir.
every function will have some arguments, isn't it? Every function, when I define my user defined functions like square root, or say what we have defined functions, swap and all, those functions are called using some arguments, and they return something. Okay. So have you ever thought of main is expecting some arguments and it is returning something? No. But when I write a program, what I do, I write with okay, we'll write a program. shall add a new program. So what I'll do, I'll say int now always. I don't write wide. I'll say include std i.h. I'll say int main. So what is happening here? Int main. Main is a function. So every C program needs a special function called main, because C is developed such that it needs it needs a starting point and for execution, and that is this particular function main. So main is also a function which can have some variables, okay, inputs as variables, and it returns something. If you don't define integer here, by default earlier C programs, every C program returned integer value. That's why sometimes if you miss this integer, still this program runs. Now the today's compilers, they are more sophisticated, so you have to provide here either void or integer. Okay. What about here variables? What type of variables it reads? It reads arguments which are taken from the keyboard, that are called command line arguments. Okay, that you will see it here. Okay, what I will do first, I will write this particular which one? Not this. I will write this particular program. So what is happening here? Can I copy it? Okay, good. I can copy this. Okay, I don't need this thing. Okay, I'll save this. This will be the first file. Save file. We'll take example file handling f1.c. So compile this one. Compile this. Run. What is happening here? It says integer c. Print type type text and press and return to see it again. Okay. What is the meaning here? Type return, type text and press return to see it again. For exiting, press Ctrl D. While c equal to get char, not end of file. What do? You while c read all the characters. If it is end of file, okay, I'll just type good morning everyone. Good morning. See this. Whatever I type and press enter key, after pressing enter key, it will print all the characters. It will come out. So first, what happens? I'll type G, get char G, G will read. Get char will read G. It will assign to C. See this. It's a single character. The equal to is a assigned character. So G is read here. This G is read and G is stored into C. You will check with the end of file. Is it end of file? No. So what do you do? Put char on the screen. Again, next sentence O is read. It is printed. But you will not see all. You will not see all the characters one by one. Because once you press enter key, that is the end. Once you press enter key, only after that you will get read. Because this get char, unless you press enter key, it will not read into this particular C. So if I say this is second line, this is second line. See this is second line. Now how to come out of this? It says for exiting, press Ctrl D. I'll say Ctrl D. What is happening here? Ctrl D enter. No. Why Ctrl D is not taking? Because in Linux it takes Ctrl D as end of file. We'll check with Ctrl Z here. No, Ctrl Z is also not taking. Maybe this small Ctrl Z. Okay, this small Ctrl Z. Okay, run this again. What has happened? I'll run this again. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, this capital was off. I'll say control D now, small d. Okay, control D. Okay, uppercase. Control Z, no. Control Z. Process return 0. Okay. So in Windows, you can use as a in C and Linux, you can use Control D or Control Z to break the program. Whereas in Windows, you can use Control Z, which will take as the end of file and you will come out of this. Okay. Now we'll use some file handling programs. File handling, which one? Include okay, the basic one first, then we'll use it file pointer node. So file pointer, file name FD, open. Okay, there is no error. FPTR. FPTR F open, check printf file. File. Okay, we'll do this one. So what is happening here? We are F file pointer. We are defining a file pointer FPTR. Then this FPTR is a small case. FPTR could F open file dot dat in hot mode. I'm opening it in write mode. Check it is open. F print. How to check whether it is open? You have to check whether F open FPTR equal to null. If FPTR equal to null, that means you are not able to open a file. That is there, no, that function. So how this works? So if you are not able to open, you should do this. If you have to go null, okay, you can say exit -1 exit something. I will do this here. Check how to check this one. I'll check this like this. Okay, if some in C, Java, and all, some people type this braces like this. Okay, but I suggest you, if it's your choice, but I suggest you like you use these braces like this. Okay, it may be next line, but at least with this brace, you understand where the block starts and where the block ends. If you type here, sometimes it's not visible properly, so not able to close if there are multiple loops one inside another. So always use loops like this and use tabs, proper indentations for this. Okay, I don't want to do anything with this line. So what is this? If file.dat is not available, then what this will give error. Okay, we'll run this one. We'll see what happens. Fptr f open dot from where this will run. Fptr hello world. Okay, I'm not closing it here. See this. I have to close the file. So what is that? How to close? F close and fptr. Remember, whenever you open a file, at the end, every file should be closed. So file pointer, fptr could open file dot in write mode. If fptr could null, print error in file creation, exit -1. Okay, fptr hello world. You write this to this particular world. Then printf fptr, not printf. This will not work. It should be fprintf. No. Okay, I will just compile and see whether it works. Build. What is the error here? Line number 9. Line number 9 says printf error in creation. Okay. Error undeclared first use in this particular function. Printf. Why it is so? Printf constant. Okay. What is what has happened? This may be double quotes of this one. Okay. So there is a double quote error. It's not this double quote. Again here. This is error here. You can just see the color. It's red. Okay. Save it again. I'll compile this. So there is error. Printf. What it says? A undeclared first use in this function. What is A here? A and B. Yeah, integer A, B. So we'll declare these variables int A comma B, and I will assign value also A equals to 100 and b equals to 200. Warning, implicit declaration of exit, line 11. Okay, no problem. Okay, run this program. So what it is returning? Process returned, execution time, press any key. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll check. Okay, now how to check whether this particular file is created? Where it will be created? When you run this in Turbo C, or say where in Linux, the current directory you know where it is. So in those the files are created. Whereas here, what is the file name? File name is file.dat. File.dat, all files, documents. So where is that file.dat? It is not there. Okay. File.dat, file, save as. So this is stored in documents folder. What about the file handlings, file saving file? Okay, settings, environment. Okay, shell to run command, then shell, terminal to close, open, continue, press, okay. I'll open the Explore and see. Is there inside documents? Inside documents, is there a file.d? Date modified. F1, yes, this particular file. Okay, this is open. I'll open with Notepad. New applications, Notepad, open. Can you see this? Hello world. Okay. Now what I will do? I will close this file. I will close this. Now I will open this in append mode. Have you understood this particular program? Okay. What I will do? I will save this again and run it. Compile this. There are some warnings. It's okay. I'll run this one. Now there is some error here. See this particular thing. What is happening here? Some abnormal characters are printing it here. Okay, why it is so? Because I'm writing FPTR, whereas printf takes only %d. It has to be F. There is a spelling mistake. Okay, FPrintf, where you want to print? To the file pointer. What you want to print? I want to print A's and B's value, which are variables. So I have to use %d. They are integers. So 100 and 200 is written. Now, what is the content here? You see this file. What is the file pointer may here? It was file.dat. No, open this one. Only hello world is written. Only one word is written here, which is hello world. There was the error here. So A and B's value is not written. When I run this again, what will happen? It will overwrite the existing file. This okay. This file.dat fopen will open this file.dat file, okay, into write mode. If this file already exists, okay, it will open the existing file. It will not open the existing file, open it and rewrite. It will actually always open the file with a new file, new content. Okay, when you say fopen file.dat, so file.dat is opened if it is already available and the content is overwritten. If this file is not available, the new file.dat is created. When we run this particular program first time, what has happened? It has created this file.dat. Where it has created? My current directory. And where my current directory is, you just check, go to file and say save as. Save file as. Now, what is save file as? My source program, where I am saving it. What is the file name? My file name is f1.c. And I'm storing this particular file f1.c inside where? Inside documents. That means this particular file also should be created inside this particular folder, which is documents. Okay, so that's why I'm able to see this in file.dat, where inside documents, I can see this particular file. This is my document folder where this particular file is available. Now, what is the content here? You can see this. I have run second time where hello world 100 and 200. Why now 100 and 200? Because earlier only once earlier there was only this thing, hello world. Okay, and there here it was error. Now this A and B, they are also written to this particular file. Now what I will do, I will make it as A. What is A? A is append. What do you mean by append? Append means you will add extra to it. Okay. Now, but always remember, when the file is opened, you cannot open it again, because Notepad has opened it. If I want to open this in C, this might give some error. So I will close this file. Now you can see this. There is only hello world 100. Append means what? Append means the whole thing is copied, pasted it again here. Okay, we'll see whether it works. Run it, compile it again, and run. Okay, no errors. Okay, fine. I'll just open that particular file and see whether what is written there. So can you see this? Hello world again, but there is no new line. Why? Because my cursor was there only. When it opens the file, it checks after opening a file, you'll be written data on the end of the file. End of file is where? End of file is at the here, A and 100 and 200. So it will keep on continuing. In that case, if you want new line, what I can do? I can say fprintf, or only in this case here only you can put new line. Okay, I'll save this, save it, compile, build and run. So no error. Okay, fine. Now open the content. So a third time I am writing it. You can see this. First time this was there, second time this, and third time hello world. Okay, why there is no new line? Okay, new line is here, but not new line here. Okay, that is the problem. Content. So I'll use new line also here. Slash new line. Okay, what I will do, I will open this particular file, hello.file. This thing, I will delete everything. Delete, save it. A blank file is saved. I will run this again. Build and run. Okay, open. I will run second time. Run. Third time. So I have run this program 3 times. Now I should get result in three times. See this. Hello world, hello world, hello world, and 100, 200. Understood? Okay, this is enough for file handling now. At present, still we have time. So what we'll do? Some more functions of file handling. Okay. So that is opening opening a file, writing using fprintf and fprintf hello world, and writing variables. You can use in double quotes whatever the variable format specifies and the values. Now we will use the fscanf also. We'll see how that can be done. So what I will do, I will open a file saying file pointer integer. I don't need. Okay, I'll read this one. Okay. Then fopen in read mode. I will read this particular file in read mode. When f20 there is error, otherwise this one. So there is a content is written here. You can see this. I have a file which is having hello world and 3 times this one. So I will just try to open this and see. Open read mode. Initially what I will do, initially I'll remove everything. I'll open, I will use fgets. I have no fgets like get string, fgets. Fgets, where you want to read? I want to read, I'll define a line. How many characters? Maximum 200 characters, 100 characters, that is enough. From where I want to read? I want to read from fptr. And I want to put it. So I'll say puts on the screen, puts line. Okay, now I will define these variables. What are those variables? line, character line with say 200. That is enough. 200 is the maximum size, but I'm reading only 100. See whether this works. Okay, this is returned 0. Let's inequality continue. Why? Why 0? F close PTR, read mode, puts line. Is it not reading anything? Asha. Okay. Can you tell me anyone what has happened here? I have run this particular program. Okay. It has written blank line. Any answer? Yes, any answer? Are you following me? It's like only I am speaking, nobody is answering. Okay, total silence. Why it is so? Yes, you can hear me. Okay. Yes, Chogle left the meeting. Still we have 10-15 minutes lecture. He has left the meeting. Okay. Any answer? Why it is blank? Why it is so? Because if you see my program, the file which I am opening file of that, the first line is empty. The first line is empty. That's why it is giving me empty result. Okay. What I should do then? I'm reading only one line. I should read all line, no? So I'll say while, okay, I'll read this one only. While f gets, what has happened? Yeah, Control Z. While f gets f pointer, okay, not equal to null, not equal to null. I'll read all lines. See this. What I'm doing here? While f gets line 100 characters f from fptr, okay. If it is not equal to null, I'll put it on the line. Otherwise, I'll just come out. Now try this. We'll try it again. Is there any error? Okay, there is error. Puts. So how many brackets I have? 1, 1. So I need one more bracket here. One more bracket. Okay. Now you can see this. Hello world. Hello world. But there is a gap. Why the gap? Why there is a gap? Because f puts it's a new character there. Okay. F gets line. Read the line, print it. Read the line, print it. Then read the line, print it again. Okay, fine. We'll open this one here. And we will open the result. So there is a line. The blank line is open. It is printed. And in the new line, hello world is reading and it is printing it here because puts itself reads puts a new line character. Okay, maybe we'll repair this one. I'll put this like this. Okay, save it. Save this one, and I'll close this one and run it again. Run again. Now you can see this. I'm getting this here. Now how to override this one now? Okay. So puts prints a new line. So what other characters we have? So puts, but at least understood how puts works. F gets in a puts. F puts for writing to file. Here I'm using just puts, which will put on the new line. What else I can do here? I can read say get char. F get char. Yeah. F gets, it is F gets C or get char. Get char. F get char from where? From FPTR. From FPTR, not equal to null. I'll say put char. Is there any error? Compile this, we'll see. Error. Too many arguments to function f get char. F get char Okay, I have not seen. No, what is the argument here? I'll see this one. F get char, F get char, F ptr. Okay, not equal to null. Okay, I'm not assigning. Fine, fine. F ptr, I have to assign to somewhere, no? Here. So where I should assign? I should take some variable character and C. So read it from here, and I will assign to this value to C. F get char. This is not equal to null. Okay, maybe this works like this. Run. Too many arguments. F get char. Okay, I'll say get C. What is the syntax of it? Let's see. Let's see. Maybe a character then comma. Okay. So we have this now here. F get char. So F put F ptr, F ptr. Likewise, we have file F. Okay. So character first, file pointer. F gets is just a file pointer, but what is written here? So get char C, put char C, F get C file pointer, returning character C could get char. No. F get C, F get char. Warning, no error. Okay. I am not printing it. I should print C, not line. That was the error. Okay, run. Okay. See this. This is going into infinite loop. Why? Infinite loop. Okay, control C, control D, or control break. Control break will not work. I'll just close this one. So C equal to F get C, F ptr. If not equal to null, I'll say put char. Now why it is not null? I'm reading from F get char. Too many arguments in function. F get char, fpt, not equal to null. Not equal to null. Read character. So where is this null character? Not null it is. It should be not UF, no? Not equal to end of file. Okay, we'll see this. Compile, no error, run. Okay, we're getting everything. So what I'm doing here, I'm reading the content of the file, file.dat. See this, while C, F get C, that is F get character from where? F ptr. And where F ptr is pointing? F ptr pointing at the file.dat. So first character is read, that is stored into C. If it is not end of file, I'll put char. Again, next character is read, which is E, like HELLO word, and this exclamation sign, that is read. After that, there is a new line, enter key. Enter key is a ASCII character, so that is also read, and that is stored into C. And put char, it is putting here, entering put char. So whatever all the characters what I can type, all they are ASCII characters, they are read and they are printed on the screen. At the end here, end of the file, there is EOF, which is end of file. When you get end of file, that time you come out of loop. Now you can see this. What I'm doing here, earlier, okay, anyway it is character, doesn't matter. But if you take integer also, this will work. Understood? How this F gets C works? Suppose you want to you want to write a program. Program for what? Copying one file to another file. Okay, there is a command, no? you read you copy from one file, you want to copy say one program to another program. What you do, you open a file, you save it as you do save as in the editor and give some other name, or you copy a file and paste somewhere and change the file name. Suppose you want to copy this file.dat to file2.dat. What I should do, I will define one more variable. Okay, star fptr ptr2, two pointers. Okay, and open two files. One is this one, and press Ctrl V, and second is file2. I'll open file2.dat in W mode, write mode. So initially this is ptr, this is ptr2. So pointer, first pointer will open file.dat, second pointer to ptr2 will open file2.dat in write mode. And I don't want to check. I know this works, but still, if you want to check it, it's okay. While C, f get C ptr from first file pointer, I will read the character and store it in C, and I will write where? I will write into f put char. How the f put char is done? Using maybe f ptr, f ptr2. You will see the its syntax. How this works? fptr put char into fptr. What about character? fptr2 it is. This C, we'll see this. Close this, build this again. Here are too many arguments. F put char. Okay, so in this thing is not given. We'll see it's F put char. F P F put char. What is the syntax of this? You should know. You should be knowing all the syntax. So how F put char works in Linux. So F put char int C. No, it is, where is the argument? What? F get char. F can F put char. Function writes a character onto the output screen from keyboard. Okay. Yes. Participant. Someone has typed something. No. Okay. F would char F2. Save this. Compile. Okay. But this is not the way, because I'm not writing it. I had to write it here. Maybe C comma okay. Build. No. Okay. Save this. Compile. Okay. F would char. I'm not printing it. So should print this thing. So what can be done? I can use fprintf if you want. Fprintf. No, but I wanted to print that character. F put C. F put C is also possible. F put C. Okay. So F put C works like this. You can see this here. Help. F put C integer. What is integer? A character. But we don't want to write it on the file pointer fptr2. What is fptr2? It's a file2.dat file. Now I have to close both the files. F close fptr also, fptr2 also. Okay. So one file is open in read mode with fptr. Second file is open in write mode with fptr2, and you open fptr. You read the character from fptr, write it to fptr2. Okay, till the end of file. Now make sure you write end of file also. See this, till end of file, what will happen? Not end of file, everything is written into FPTR. Once I close this, what will happen? I'll just see. Save this, run it again, compile, run. Okay, you will not get any result on the screen. Why? Because I'm writing from this particular file, a new file f file2.dat is created. I'll just go through that Explorer. Okay, is the file created? File 2. See this, file 2 is created. What is there in file 2? All that content from file 1. So file 1 is, this is file, okay, which is returned to file 2. Both contents are same. Now what I will do, I'll run this again. I'll run this. I will, okay, we'll close this one. Run notepad. I will append. I'll open this in append mode. Now I should get 3 times. Only one time there, one copy of that content is there. I will run 2 times. See this, run, enter, run, enter. Now I should open file 2. You can see this. This was, I think, first time. This was second time, and this is third time. Understood? Any questions? If any questions, you can ask. Now, still, what has happened? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. I thought lecture was automatically over. We have scheduled for only 1 hour, no? 11:05 to 11, but still it is working. Fine. Any questions? Any questions? You can ask if you want to ask any questions. I will, what it says, web technology lecture, CSS at 11:30 to 1:30. Fine. Now I have to close this because 11:30 we have one more lecture, but still we have time. Okay. Now this file handling is, this much file handling is okay for you. Remember how file handling works? I will upload these PPTs. Okay. So I have these PPTs. These are taken from some IIT Kharagpur, I think. Okay. I'll upload this. You can just brush up this your C programming knowledge, so you can access these things. So if any questions, you can ask. Can we stop it here? Tomorrow, what I will do? I will start with pointers, structures, pointers, dynamic memory allocation, and you will see some basics of pointers. So tomorrow is the last lecture of this week. We will schedule one more extra lecture in this week, 1 or 2 lectures, and we will start with data structures. So how many participants are there? Participants, is everyone is there? The next reminder. I can't see any participants. Okay, only 32 are left. Shreya, roll number 11.
Yes, sir.
Shreya, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen all the screens? The screens were visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. So tomorrow we'll start with pointers. We'll stop it here. Thank you all.